With the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series now over, a lot of fans are focused on other shows out there like Star Wars Andor, Tales of the Jedi, The Bad Batch Season 2, and yes, The Mandalorian Season 3, all of which are upcoming in, of course, the near future. We have Andor, by the way, coming out on August 31st. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about Disney CEO Bob Chapek is that this is a guy that's really working very hard and around the clock to allowing Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to do as they please, to really allow them to open up and use a lot of Star Wars Legends content to come back into the equation here. Now, recently Chapek has been making a lot of key adjustments over at Lucasfilm, and of course, really conversing with the Disney executives on exactly what's the best scenario to actually push through with. And we obviously have seen that everything that Kathleen Kennedy touches does not work. Given that she did actually lend a hand in the Kenobi TV series, it goes to show you that a lot of things went wrong with that show for obvious reasons. Meanwhile, when you look at other projects like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni with The Mandalorian as a whole, that really is going in a very, positive direction. Now, moving forward from all of this, everything related to Bob Chapek, right? This is a guy that, once again, like I say, is trying to create a legacy for himself because he is planning on quitting as the Disney CEO by either the summer or the fall of 2024. So he's got about a little bit, over 2 years most likely until he phases away and gets out of the Disney, corporation and gets out of that overall game. So with that being said, what's really interesting about this is that with Disney CEO Bob Chapek making big changes behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm in order to create a new era of Star Wars for the fans, it's noted that Chapek recently finalized a very big decision on his part to make way for the new Star Wars universe that is currently being led by Favreau and Filoni. Now, it's noted that just recently, Disney CEO Bob Chapek canceled a big Star Wars trilogy that was in the pipeline over at Disney for the longest time. Now, it's described that this trilogy that was actually in the pipeline that Chapek recently canceled was Kathleen Kennedy's big Star Wars project that was going to be a High Republic trilogy of movies that recently came to a close, officially speaking. These films were going to be released on the Disney Plus platform as the first Star Wars movies to appear on their streaming service that Chapek brought to a close after witnessing Kathleen Kennedy's ongoing failure with the Acolyte TV show. Now, further, it's noted that these new movies were going to focus on a Star Wars trilogy that would focus away from the wars and to focus more so on a time of peace with the Jedi facing environmental threats and concerns. This was a disaster in Chapek's eyes, as he was in a back-and-forth situation with Disney executives for a very long time on whether or not this should be cancelled. The trilogy was also going to focus on a character named Georg the Rock, who is a very strong, Force-sensitive individual that was best described as the most terrible Star Wars design out of all Star Wars canon. This series of movies were going to be treated as a way to promote the High Republic books for the fans, and Chapek was not happy with that direction at all. Even Yoda was going to be placed in this trilogy as one of the main characters, during a time where he is 200 years younger. Now, about Yoda being introduced in here, alright? This is a big problem because Kathleen Kennedy would have easily ruined the character of Yoda, no doubt about that. We obviously know that everybody, involved with Kathleen Kennedy, all the cast and the crew, we have seen this time and time again that even some of the actors came out and said before in the past that, everything to do with the sequel trilogy really wasn't working for them. And that, of course, is all rooted to Kathleen Kennedy. So I'm very glad that they made the ultimate decision, both Chapek and the Disney executives, to really kind of just slash this trilogy and put it into the trash and really calling it quits because, let's face it, the High Republic, it really serves no interest of the hardcore fans out there. It really serves no interest even to the majority of the casual fans. Again, like I said before in the past, and even in my last video, I took the time to read all the High Republic books, and I can really say this with full confidence that they are not Star Wars. You guys may like them, some of you guys may out there might like those books and those comics, but to me, they are not Star Wars. They are not anything like the originals, the prequels, or not even near as good as the sequel trilogy, and that's really saying a lot. And it really does, mean a lot over the fact that Chapek finally made the call to put an end to this High Republic trilogy that was supposed to be the first new series of movies to actually debut on the Disney Plus platform. They wanted to actually shift away from Disney Plus on the Star Wars section, not just being about Star Wars TV shows, but also being about Star Wars movies. Moving on. So, further, alright, the films are going to essentially tap into the origin of the High Republic era and exactly how it started, and that the Nile would also be introduced and exactly how they came into the picture. However, Kathleen Kennedy wanted nothing to do with wars, battles, or fighting, and wanted to focus on movies that would use environmental threats such as asteroids impacting planets, Jedi trying to create large weapons to destroy stars from going into a supernova and destroy nearby planets, etc. Chapek viewed these films as disastrous both in a literal sense in the story and to the Star Wars community. Chapek recently finalized the cancellation of Kathleen Kennedy's new trilogy of films, and she is described to be very angry over this decision by Bob Chapek. Now, Chapek is now looking at other options of Star Wars movies to appear on the Disney Plus platform, and to also roll out movies in theaters as well. These High Republic movies were also going to focus on real-world issues, and Kathleen Kennedy wanted to actually make this trilogy to fall into using them as lessons about saving planets and saving communities. Once again, I think that this just goes to show you exactly all that needs to be told about Kathleen Kennedy. Everything is an agenda. Everything is a story to be told about the real world. And here, you have a prime example of Kathleen Kennedy even stripping away the meaning of the title of this franchise, Star Wars. She literally wanted to take away the wars and the battles and the fighting from these movies, and to focus on a time of peace where only environmental threats would be basically the drama or the overall drive of the story. And that to me just sounds ultimately boring. I don't know who in their right mind would think that a trilogy of disaster films with the Star Wars label slapped on them would work. It just wouldn't work, and Bob Chapek really dodged the bullet here by calling it quits, convincing the Disney executives to pull the plug on this finally and just get rid of them all. And that really does speak volumes. It goes to show you that Chapek is really beginning to realize things need to be done. Things need to be changed, and things really need to be adjusted in order to really convince the fans that things really are, working out for the better moving ahead now. So, overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.